Argon NEO. But can it actually dodge a bullet? Hey guys, I was so impressed with Argon 1 case to the point where I reached out to Argon 40 and asked for another case that I could take a look at and possibly make a conversion. If you want to know everything about Argon 1 and why I think this is pretty awesome case, there is a video review in here that I would strongly recommend you to watch. Fortunately, it wasn't a very long wait, and within a week or so I received Argon NEO case for Raspberry Pi 4. And today we're going to take a look at the case, talk about the thermal performance and Wi-Fi performance as well, since the case is metal. First impressions are brilliant. The case is actually much smaller than I was anticipating. It takes only a little bit more space than the Raspberry Pi 4, so if you're looking for something small that's not going to take much space, unlike the Argon 1, then Argon NEO might be for you. The case consists of 3 different components. On top you have a metal shell which covers up the GPIO and all ports, and this part is mainly for decorative and protection purposes. Now it uses 2 magnets to neatly snap on to the case itself. The middle part is also made out of aluminum and it acts as a heatsink. Now you'll find the labels for 40-pin GPIO header and also labels for adapters for camera and display port. There is a small tiny slot for the Raspberry Pi camera module if you want to use it, but you're gonna be facing it in one direction as there is no attached hinge to angle the camera the way you want. And lastly, the plastic bottom which closes the case and helps to propagate Wi-Fi and Bluetooth signals, something that is very important when the case is made out of metal. At $15 this case feels smart, sharp and well designed. However, it's not perfect, so let's talk about a couple of things that I've noticed. First of all, the top shell will close the access to GPIO pins and to the camera and display connectors. Unlike Argon 1, Argon NEO doesn't have those comb-like features allowing to route cables out when the top shell is mounted. So if you want to use those connectors, you won't be able to use the top shell without prior modifications. Second of all, because the shell is made of metal, you're actually risking of shorting your Raspberry Pi. I would really appreciate Argon 40 adding male to female GPIO header adapter to prevent this from happening. If you get clumsy and let the top shell slip, it is possible to short the pins on a GPIO header and probably damage the Raspberry Pi in the process. And lastly, the plastic bottom itself could use additional holes for screw mounts or VESA compatible bracket. Let's talk about thermal performance, and I'm really unfortunate because every time I'm running thermal benchmarks the weather in UK changes and suddenly I have like 26 to 28 degrees Celsius in my office, which means all the results are skewed by a couple of degrees due to heat. And now the case uses a passive cooling system, which means the middle part of the case acts as a heatsink. It's connected to the CPU and a memory module on Raspberry Pi for using 2 thermal pads. The pads are included and all you have to do is just peel off the plastic and apply it onto the IC on the board directly. Without the case, the Raspberry Pi 4 would run at 55 degrees Celsius at idle in these temperature conditions, and obviously it would thermally throttle as well if I used the benchmark to test the temperature. With Argon NEO, the ambient temperature was about 47 to 48 degrees, and during my benchmark the temperature settled at 65 degrees, which isn't bad considering this is only passive cooling solution and elevated temperature. While I was running the benchmark, I started to wonder why the top shell doesn't have any vents in it. After all, it would trap some air inside and cause this air to heat up slowly. But after running the benchmark with the shell on and without the shell, I've noticed there was no significant impact on the temperature itself. I guess there is enough surface area to dissipate the stored heat. Just remember guys, if you're running a benchmarks in a much cooler environment, you're probably gonna get results which are 5 to 6 degrees better. So the next talking point is the Wi-Fi, and actually to my surprise it was performing quite well. Now in ideal circumstances, the board enclosed in Argon NEO was performing nearly identical to a naked Raspberry Pi. So I took both boards to another room to simulate a typical use case scenario with some furniture and walls obstructing Wi-Fi signal. I've noticed that the signal strength inside the case was about 10 decibels weaker. Now that didn't directly translate into a speed because after running ePerf 3 for 2 minutes on each device, I've noticed that the speed was all over the place, which means that scattering of Wi-Fi signal was a bigger factor than actually having the Raspberry Pi 4 enclosed in Argon NEO. I guess that's pretty much everything I could tell you about this case. Now if you want it to yourself, there is a link in the description of this video, which you can use to purchase one for about $15, which is a steal considering how well made this is. So what's next for this board? I'm going to mod it to support this mSATA shield. Now this is done so I could use it, for example, for boot from SSD without annoying cables coming out from this pretty little case. I've done a similar mod for the Argon 1, so if you're interested in Argon 18 mod, take a look at here and you'll find the details on how to do it yourself. Now as for now, I do not have a posting schedule, so if you're interested in any notifications, it's best to follow me on social media of your choice so you could get an instant update when the new article is out, because it's not only videos that I do. Since I'm not going to teach you how YouTube works and you know exactly how to like and subscribe and do all that magic, I'll leave you with this. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.